I did watch Raw. I meant to tell you.
I watched Raw.
Okay. So I was a little excited by the promise of I was a little intrigued by the promise of the Bloodline and the Judgment Day angle, which starts as a kind of partnership in the beginning of the show when Heyman sells it as a, you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of thing. And he's got a hell of a back to scratch. Probably, I'd imagine, very hairy as well. And so I'm further intrigued by the fact that I see this is going to end in a schmaz at the end of the night. And you got, 12 freaking people in the ring or whatever. So this is going to be one of those old school, signing off at 8:05. Tony Schiavone, we got to go. And they're still coming into the ring at the TBS studios. But there was a very protracted schmaz that stayed out there and was basically another match. And maybe showed a little bit too much of the schmaz.
No,
I mean, how long can the cum shot go on for, right?
yeah, that it becomes a situation where that's got to be hot. They were trying so hard in the truck not to catch rotten shit that they fucking missed Ray's beautiful 619.
Oh, the 619, yeah.
Behind it was in the background because they were too busy. Somebody looked like Scott used to always call it when a guy got on top of another guy and he'd do them for shitty punches. He'd say, yeah, and then the motherfucker got on top of me and started fucking beating egg whites.
Yeah.
Looked like you beat up some egg whites before you cook them. And that's what I said, man. There was egg whites going on all over the place. It's just like
there was nowhere to cut almost actually in the truck.
You couldn't because
go back to the master, the hard camera.
Yeah, but it was just too long. Like
right.
You can't. There's a reason why a battle royal that's why the Royal Rumble is so great. Is because it starts off and it's 1 versus 1. Then if they, then there's 3 guys, and there's maybe one gets, there's a chance.
And you could book it to where there's no more than 5, 6 guys in the ring at one time throughout the whole thing. Yeah,
you can. That's why that's so successful. Whereas, the schma, the thing I used to hate worse in life is when we were at WCW and they would do this thing at house shows where they would start the card with a battle royal. So the first 2 guys, the first guy went out and then the next guy that went out, they would wrestle each other in the first singles match.
Oh, so that would set the rest of the card?
It would set the whole card, how people went out. And then the last 2 guys, standing would come back for the main event. And it was so redundant.
That was the shithouse stampede is what that was.
Yes, it was the shithouse stampede. I guess they were so pissed off that 1,200 people showed up. They're going to make sure that 800 showed up the next time they came into town. But what a fucking... And if you're one of the boys, that's exactly what you want to do, is you want to break a sweat and then sit in your fucking gear till you go on next to last.
Right.
Or
you draw the straw to go against, like, maybe a Vader or John Tenta, who may have been sitting in their sweaty
their entire
singlet
career?
for their
entire career.